Om. Continuing the knots of illusion. The next one is pride. So, for you to understand in that graphic that I've been referring to, so all these knots, they are at the level of the body-mind complex. So as these knots are here, your contemplation, the turning of the attention towards the source, is very little, because your consciousness is rooted at the level of the physical and mental body. So pride is a massive identification with body-mind, and the result also of low self-esteem, which is the product of circumstantial environment, that which you lived, and the way to overcome that sense of fragility, weakness, that self-rejection is the product of building self-importance to counterweight that self-rejection. So pride is a blinding force. It is massive identification, as I've spoken. It doesn't allow real contemplation. It can happen, contemplation, if there's something to gain from it, but that's another story. But it's not pure contemplation. Because, well, it's like that, those divine attributes of all-knowing, all-being, it's like they were transferred to the limited aspects of body-mind complex, but it has assumed them. So pride doesn't let you receive something from the outside of your perception, of your being. So there's a sense of being blind, of being superior to others, and you become unreachable. You see, pride is built on complexities. It's a complex structure. Wisdom is simplicity based. So pride doesn't let you grasp wisdom, simplicity. And you're always at a height superior to the rest, so you become unreachable. It is rooted in low self-esteem, of course, because the one who is really self-confident doesn't need to have barriers, doesn't need to feel more important than others, because he doesn't feel threatened by others. So pride is like a shell that protects you. Protects you because, like I said, it's rooted in low self-esteem. So it protects you from yourself, from the beliefs you have about yourself, because this is what low self-esteem is. So you have those who succumb to these beliefs, and you have those who fight against these beliefs, that I'm not good enough. So I will fight this by assuring that I'm better than anyone, that I'm bigger than anyone. This is a way to counter it. And the bigger the pride, the bigger the wounds, the bigger the fragility. Because pride grows in a sense to compensate that fragility. So pride is a blinding force. No matter what you do, if pride is there, spiritual growth will be impaired. It will be very small because everything will be centered around breaking that pride to give you a real opportunity. But breaking pride, it's not easy. It's not an easy experience. It is a transformative one, but not easy at all. But is needed, or else there is no real spiritual growth. Because one of the biggest measures of spiritual growth is humility. Not everybody can recognize humility. Everybody thinks they can, but that's not really the case. But it is one of the biggest hallmarks that you can have to yourself, because it's not about evaluating others. You don't understand yourself. How can you evaluate others? But in yourself, in terms of yourself, the measure of spiritual growth is how do you recognize the growth of your humility and the decline of your arrogance, of your pride. It is such a powerful shield that your relationships are not love-based. They are interest-based, which is different. Love doesn't touch you. It doesn't go inside that shell. Divine love, even more difficult. You see, pride can also be used in a way to enhance your spiritual growth to a point. For example, you recognize your attachments and your fears and you say, oh, I'm going to be limited by this. No way. I'm going to break through all of that. So pride can be used to do this. But eventually, it will take you so far, but not beyond. And what you do with pride, eventually you will have to do with love. And love is not just about, it can be about protection. But in the end, it's not about protection and not about absence of protection. It's about the highest good. And the highest good sometimes is seen bad to the level of reality that you're experiencing. So this has to be understood. And for those who are trying their level best, seekers of truth, they are by nature strong beings. And yes, filled with pride. Many times. Most of the times. And that's not a limitation. It can be, it is, in the biggest part of the time, until you understand. Then you will take the wrong aspects and the strength will remain. Because strength has been built, even by using wrong materials, but it has been built. Then you take the wrong materials and strength will be there. The real strength. The strength that's not real will collapse, of course. So understanding that it's about the highest good, something that you cannot understand from where you're standing right now. The directions that your spiritual path will take will challenge you to let go of that pride. will hit you in your pride. And you have a choice to react and protect your pride, your present reality, your illusion, or give in, accepting. Pride brings a ton of limitations. You're exposed to a teaching and you give your meaning to the teaching because of pride, because you think you know. Because you think you know you have the best values, you have the best knowledge, you know how things should be, and you interpret everything according to your vision. You're trapped in your illusion. You're not seeing beyond your illusion. There's a shell of pride protecting you. And for this pride to be maintained, a lot of food has to be there. You need to be right. You need to be the better. You need to know more. You need this and that and this and that. And it's exhausting. It's all the time arising, all the time, all the time, all the time. Putting yourself onto others. Treating them with, like, looking downwards on them, but being dependent on them, because at the end of the day, you just want to be better than everybody so that you are accepted, respected, most of all, loved. And that's on the body-mind complex, beyond towards the circumstances. No attention moving upwards.